Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame here ahead of the pre-market economic data points that are coming out here in a little while. We've already seen selling pressure here really overnight and throughout the pre-market here. Failed new high, steady downtrending price action. That rejection and selling pressure coming on China adjusting interest rates overnight, and that leading to quite a bit of weakness here so far ahead of the RTH Open. One thing that continues to be in play here is since this Thursday rejection, that high, we've never come back to that high for the ES. And since then, we've seen a pattern of failed new highs and weakness, failed new highs and weakness. And we've seen it over and over. We were watching for such here heading into today's session, whether we would see one of these failed new highs and weakness again. That could open up quite a bit of weakness up ahead to go get the previous month's low price. Previous month's low here at about 44.10. You have the previous month's midpoint here breaking down, making it resistance, and continuing to keep it a strong pivot high there. So at some point, if the market's going to rally, this pivot high that was created here overnight above 45.20 could open up some upside that could bring us back up toward break even for the month. But as of right now, still trending down with a shot to go get the previous month's low ahead. But keep an eye on 45.20 for signs of strength down the road. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. The NQ right now down about 0.6%, also a failed new high. Again, overnight price action here. News out of China pushing this thing down. Look right here, that golden average right there, that is the downtrending 8-period average right now. Downtrending price action right here with the potential here to continue to serve as resistance until proven otherwise. Again, the pre-market high here or the overnight high is a good pivot edge for down the road. Maybe tomorrow or later on we get a push through that edge. It opens up some upside back above. Until then, we're still focused on downtrending price action here. Failed new highs have been predominant this entire way. And while we've already reached the previous month's low, the actual edge is a little bit lower here. This lower portion, right about 14,850, could be the actual edge of the recent market structure. So we could be looking at a continuation toward that edge. So if you draw it out right here, for example, you get the highs that come across right here, you get these highs that come across here, and you got the lows that come across here. So to fail at this market structure here, you start to work down the previous all the way down to the prior low, which is at 14,850. We still have a little bit more to go. Right now, 15,178. Again, at some point, if we're going to push through this high, perhaps tomorrow or a couple of days later, that could open up a decent return back up to the top of the recent market structure. So keep an eye on that pivot here, as it is a good one. If we take a look here at crude oil, this one's already down right now, down 1.38% at the moment. We talked about watching and being patient for rejection up here at these highs. Once we hit 83.50, it was going to be a potential reversal up ahead, unless this market was going to open it up back up to 94s. We talked about how prices above 84 have been strongly rejected over the last 8 or 10 months at least. And right now you're seeing much of the same. We also looked at this reversal and how it played out against how it played out over here. Very, very similar price action, and so far making its way back to the 80.50 level. That's the break-even point for the year. And at some point here, if that level goes offered, like this here, or any of these times throughout this year so far, it'll open up the move back down. And again, 74 will be the midpoint of the larger range, 84 the edge, 74 the middle, 64 the bottom. So if we're going to reject here, we could be looking at much more weakness ahead. If this is the first pivot high, then we could still see one more rotation up, a lower high, or something like that as well. So the next rally could still be sold for what could be a drop downward up ahead. So keep that in mind. If we take a look here at gold futures, right now gold down about 0.5%. This one's been weak. Again, ever since the rollover gap up, above 2,000 and then price going and dropping back up below 2,000. The retest at 2,000 offered. Ever since that series of events there, we've seen nothing but weakness. Lower highs, lower lows, a steady continuation down, giving up the 1960 level, especially after a strong low here and that midpoint being taken out, giving up 1950, and now giving up 1940. So again, quite a bit of weakness here for gold as it rotates back down. At the moment, any signs of strength could still be sold until we find a strong low. Perhaps that strong low will be somewhere down here near the 1900 level. So any bounce in this one could be a selling opportunity as this thing goes toward 1900. Taking a look now at the YM. The YM here showing some weakness. This is going to be huge. This is going to be big. If we start to break down here, and we're on lows at the moment, but if we start to break down through 35.1 with big time steam ahead, a major break, it could be the break from this range that we need to get things going. Either that breakdown is going to trigger a continuation, in which case 33.8 is the next target below, or it's going to cause some failed breakdown and then you return back to the highs. So watching this range right here, we've quantified this thing to be at least 2,000 points, as little as maybe 1,500 points of range up ahead. So again, if we're going to break down through 35.1 back to 33.8, that's easily doable based on the number of points that are in this range at the moment. So watching this edge, we'll see if we get that full-on breakdown. If we do, 33.8 is going to be a big-time target up ahead. And based off of this range being, say, a 3-week trading range, you give yourself 2 to 3 weeks to go make that move. Much of that move could be seen in a week or maybe even several days, but this is going to be a big-time edge. Now, again, if we come down here and reject, say we throw off one of these or one of these, something like this down here, then we could be using that pivot low and looking at the next positive move being up for about 1,500 to 2,000. So if we drop down here and put in a strong pivot low, we might be looking at, say, 34.8 and looking up 2,000 points. And if you look up 2,000 points from 34.8, you get 36.8, and that's the previous year's high. So watching on this move to see how it behaves, because the next key move out of the Dow could be very, very soon. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.